Hey, what's going on YouTube? BD Kane 721. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the channel. My last video, I mentioned that I was going to be doing something special this past weekend, and I wanted to share it with all of you, and that's what today's video is about. It's why I'm wearing this hat. My wife and I made a decision a few months ago to take a road trip this season to watch the Padres play on the road. And as you can tell, we went to Texas this past weekend to watch the Padres play the Rangers in Arlington at a very modern stadium. Both my wife and I had been to the old ballpark before, which is still standing right next door to the new ballpark. I think the new ballpark was built right around COVID time, or at least it was finished right around COVID time. I think they held the 2020 World Series there during COVID. And I remember the Padres went there to play some playoff games during COVID as well. So it's been around for a little while now, but it's still one of the newer stadiums in the league. And we wanted to find a place that we could easily get to and get tickets for. So we ended up getting tickets for Friday night and Saturday night. The Padres ended up losing 2 out of 3 in Texas, but we did see the one game that they won on Saturday night, which was even more enjoyable because Manny hit a 3-run homer in the 10th inning to put that game away. So we got to see our favorite player do something pretty magical for that game. And we just had a great time. Just overall, it was a fantastic weekend. We flew out on a Thursday, came back on Sunday, saw the Friday and Saturday game, that sort of thing. We ended up staying in a hotel right next door to the ballpark, so made it really easy to just walk to the game when it was time to head over there, and took advantage of all the things around that particular facility. If you're familiar with that facility or that area, you know that the ballpark is there. You've got the football stadium right next door where the Cowboys play. And then there's a bunch of other restaurants and retail shops all in that little area there. So the one thing we didn't know or didn't figure was that the World Cup was going on, and they actually have games there at the football stadium. And they had one the day before we got there, and then they had one the day after. So it was a pretty busy area for that weekend because a lot of visiting fans were there to watch the World Cup games. But still, it was a lot of fun. Our impressions of the stadium, I'm going to show you some photos now and some videos of our experience there. When you walk into that stadium, you get the feel that it's huge. One person mentioned in a video that I watched before we went on the trip said that it felt like you're walking into an airplane hangar. And I felt like that was the perfect description of the place. Doesn't take anything really away from the fact that you're in a Major League Baseball park. It still was an amazing place and had a lot of great nooks and crannies to visit and to check out. And we spent 2 nights there watching baseball, so we were able to explore a lot of different areas of the ballpark. But the best thing that happened to us while we were there is that I ended up catching a ball with my bad wrist and everything. We took the advice of a lot of you YouTubers out there that have said over the years that when you go to a visiting ballpark and you wear the visiting team's colors, a lot of times they'll throw you a ball into the stands. And that's exactly what happened to us in the 7th inning of the ball game when the Padres got the 3rd out. It was a strikeout, and the catcher threw it to Manny. Manny threw it over to Xander, and Xander ended up tossing it up into the stands where we were sitting. So pretty cool. I was able to catch it. Really didn't have much competition in catching it because a lot of the Ranger fans weren't standing up asking for the ball, mostly just Padre fans, which there were a lot of, and ended up being the highlight of the trip. But had a great time. Highly recommend going there. I'd give the stadium like a B+. It's still not the kind of feel that I would prefer because it's an indoor stadium, and it feels much different than an outdoor stadium does, especially one that's more in a downtown setting. Like Petco Park or some of the other ones around the league. But I had a lot of fun nonetheless, and highly recommend it. It was something that we're going to try to do, or it is something that we're going to try to do on a yearly basis now. We're going to try to pick a city to go to. We almost went to Pittsburgh this year. That was our first choice, but the Pittsburgh series in Pittsburgh was in early April, and by the time we made the decision to do it, it just was going to be too expensive and too difficult. So that's why we chose Texas. I've got a few cards I want to show. Just one in particular I wanted to show you that I got in the mail recently, and then I will be on my way. All right, guys, stick around. See ya. All right, everyone, thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. Quick update on Manny's career home run total is, since the last time I had a video up on the channel, he was at 381. He hit the home run in Texas for 382, and then he hit a home run here at home on Monday night against the Braves, which ended up being the only run of the game scored by either team. And that brings his total up to 383. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit better right now, so I think we should watch out. He could be inching closer and closer to that 400 mark. And I will keep doing these updates until he gets there. So hopefully that will happen this season. All right. Speaking of him, the Top Series 2 cards came out recently, and I've been searching for just his variations of his Series 2 base card. I'm not trying to get every one, but anytime something comes up on eBay or at a show that is reasonable, I go ahead and pick it up. So I picked up a few. I've actually got 4 here. I've got one coming, I think, in the mail this week. I'm not sure, but this was the first one I got. This is what they call the Sun Hollow variation. And I don't know about you guys, but this year, for some reason, when I've looked up checklists online, there really hasn't been a spot that's shown me all of the different variations. Like, I cannot find this variation anywhere. So if you guys know a good place online to search for the checklist and all the variations, let me know. But this is what the card looks like this year. It's a great action shot of him in his home uniform actually making contact with the baseball right on the barrel of the bat. So really different type of shot that you see typically, but really cool one for this year's Manny's flagship product. This is the back of it. As usual, it shows all his years in the majors. He entered this year with 369 home runs total, and now he's up to 383, so he's got 14 homers this year already. So pretty good numbers for him. And like I was mentioning about the trip to Texas, it's very interesting hearing people's reactions to the Padres players as they're announced. Manny does not get a warm welcome anywhere he goes, except for maybe Baltimore would be the only place that he gets a warm reception. But everywhere else, they really don't like him. It's amazing to me. Everybody calls him crybaby, calls him a complainer. They say he's a dirty player, all those kinds of things. And I've said this before on the channel, and I'll keep saying it. I just don't see it. I'm seeing him in his later years of his career, obviously, more mature Machado. So hopefully that reputation will get better. But it sounds like from the things that I hear people saying when he's on the road, I don't know that it will. But in any case, I keep moving forward. Here's the gold of the card, a very classic gold card for the flagship product that everybody should be collecting if you're collecting players or teams. It's a fan favorite. These are, of course, numbered to 2026. This is number 455 out of 2026. So a nice looking gold card for the collection from flagship. And then I picked up this yellow hollow, which is really cool, actually. It goes well with the Padres colors. And this is numbered out of 399. So many different variations this year. I don't know how many of them I'm going to get, because I've got Topps Chrome to start saving for. That pre-order event came out this week with Topps. So I really have to start thinking about saving money this year. It's going to be an expensive set to collect, but I'll talk more about that as that gets closer. And then the last card is this one here. Again, another card that I can't find on any checklist anywhere. I think this is the vintage stock card because it's got a much different look to it, but haven't been able to confirm it yet. Cool look though, kind of a retro look to it, numbered at a 99. So those are the 4 cards that I've purchased so far for this year's Topps flagship product. Great looking cards, like I mentioned, and gonna try to pick up a few more. There's other releases, like I said, Topps Chrome, Topps Finest is coming out soon, so I got to make sure I have a little bit of funds to grab a few parallels in those products. Okay, the last card I wanted to show and talk a little bit about is a card from the 2018 Topps Chrome Blue set. I'm down now to 17 cards left in completing that set. Of course, I need the big one, and I've talked about that on previous videos as well. I probably won't get that anytime soon, but still trying to whittle my way down to where that's the only card that I need, and then I'll have to try to figure out a way to get it. But it's always fun to see what cards are difficult to find, because then it makes it even more satisfying when you actually pick one up. And this is one of those. I was amazed, I have been amazed over the years at how popular some players are when it comes to collecting. And this is one of those guys. Joey Votto, 2018 Topps Chrome Blue. It took me a long time to find this one. I have a search on eBay that pops up or sends me an alert whenever things pop up on eBay, and this was one of them. But he's a very popular player, apparently. And a lot of collectors out there really enjoy collecting Votto cards. But I was lucky enough to get this one for a decent price. Like I said, this brings me down to 17 cards left in that set to complete it. So happy to get that into the binder. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that little showcase and my trip to Texas. I will be back probably next week with another update video. I've got a PSA submittal I'm expecting in the next week or two. This was the joint submission that I made with Ken over Ken's Cardboard. So we're looking forward to getting that back. It's been about, I don't know, it's almost been about 5 months since we submitted that at the West Coast Card Show. So looking forward to that. All right, guys, sorry for the long video. Just had a lot to share today, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Talk to you soon. See ya.